Hello, my name is Reese Friedman. I read The Reasons You Walk by Wab Kinew, and today I'm going to be talking about the themes I noticed in the book and how they compare to other literature I've read. Then I'll present 5 artifacts that represent pivotal points in Wab's life and explain their culture's significance. One of the most noticeable themes in The Reason You Walk is healing through forgiveness of others and forgiveness of self. This theme stood out to me because many non-Indigenous books focus mainly on extreme conflict, but Wab's story centers on internal struggle and spiritual reconciliation as a path forward. Wab's narrative structure also differs from much of the Western literature I've read. Instead of a strict chronological order or a linear plot, the book moves between memories, teachings, and ancestral wisdom. The storytelling feels circular, emphasizing connection and the idea that the past and the present are interwoven. Another difference is that protocol and Indigenous culture references are embedded through the text. These are references to ceremonials, languages, and relationships with the land and the community that are woven into the narrative, rather than explained in textbook style. Indigenous words and culture practices are used with respect and context, showing how they are lived experiences in Wab's life. This buffalo skull represents strength, resilience, and the sacredness of life. In many Anishinaabe cultures, the buffalo symbolizes abundance, survival, and respect for the gifts of the earth. In the book, moments that connect to survival and culture grounding parallel the buffalo's significance, reminding us that healing often comes from acknowledging the strength of our ancestors. The connection to me, I find, is this makes me think about how I value resilience in my own life and how hard the moments shape who I am. My artifact for number 2 is sage is used for smudging, a cleansing ceremonial to purify spaces and people and to invite positive energy. Smudging is practiced deeply rooted in Indigenous spiritual traditions. In The Reason You Walk, cleansing and reflection happen through Wab's journey, not just as events, but as ongoing processes that support healing. The connection to me is I think about how I use my own habits to reset my mind, like journaling sometimes, or I'll take walks. And I can see how smudging works as a ritual to respect spirituality. For my artifact number 3, the drum holds a center place in Anishinaabe culture. It represents heartbeat, community, and continuity. The drum sounds connects people to each other and to creation. In Wab's Kinew story, connection to community and shared rhythm is essential to finding his identity and strength. The connection to me is this makes me reflect on how much music and rhythm in my life brings people together. Like how I like listening to music with my friends or families, especially in the car, and it creates shared memories. For artifact number 4, family photograph represents memory, love, and legacy. Wab's journey is deeply connected to his relationships, especially with his father, and understanding his own history. Many Indigenous stories emphasize ancestry and relation identity, showing that who you are is tied to where you come from. The connection to me, I see how my own family photos remind me of where I come from and how it shapes my values today, especially when I look back where my parents came from and their grandparents. For artifact number 5, my last one, in many Indigenous cultures, feathers represents honor, truth, and connection to spirit. They're often gifted in ceremonies to recognize important life events and teachings. Wab's story is about a difficult path with honesty, learning to carry his experiences with integrity, like carrying a feather as a reminder of values. The connection to me, I think about how small reminders like keychains or wristbands help me grounded in what matters to me, like on my gym keys, I get to remember the school I go to because I have an OCAN gym key. For my conclusion, each of these artifacts represents an important part of Wab's Kinew's healing journey, from strength and cleansing to community, family, and spirituality, especially with guidance. The themes in The Reason You Walk are deeply connected to Indigenous worldview, and I found them both memorable and different from what I've read before. Thank you for watching my video.